Hi, everybody, and welcome to Lawyers Rock. Now, today's topic is a little less mainstream, but it's actually very important to any business or project that's based in the United States and wants to hire foreign talent. I'm talking about immigration. So, if you're a US-based movie and you want to hire a foreign animator or talent or director, you're going to have to go through the proper channels to make sure that person can get over here properly. So I don't do immigration law, but I have a really good friend, Suzie Litwack, who's going to chime in and give us some answers to some frequently asked questions and put you in the right direction. So let's rock. Hey Suzie, welcome to Lawyers Rock, and thanks a lot for doing this interview.
Hi Richard, thank you for having me.
I gave a brief introduction of what you do, but tell the viewers in your own words what you do and what your practice is about.
Well, I grew up in Los Angeles, and I currently practice in Los Angeles County. And, when I decided to go to law school, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do until I started doing immigration. And that's when I realized that's something I'd like to pursue, and it's my passion, and I like helping people out.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is a visa?
Basic way to understand what a visa is that it's permission. You're seeking permission from the US government to come into the United States for a particular purpose. So it's just a travel document giving you that right.
So what are some of the common types of visas that an entertainment company needs to know about?
So I know that your business focuses more on entertainment, and a lot of times you'll see O visas and P visas, and those are usually for celebrities or anybody in the arts, directors, producers, and so on. With the O visa, it's for immigrants who have extraordinary abilities. So what is extraordinary ability? How do you prove that? That's one of the main things that you have to prove up to the government. So there are two different ways that you can go about this. The first way, the best type of evidence, is if you've received some type of international recognition. So if you're in the arts, if you're into music, if you're a director, usually the best type of evidence is if you've won an award, like a Grammy or an Oscar or an Academy Award. That's the best type of evidence. Some of the factors that the government takes into consideration is whether you've performed in a major motion picture or you've recorded an album that's nationally recognized or even internationally recognized. Or another way would be whether you have a record of commercially acclaimed success. So there are very different ways of proving that. So maybe you have TV ratings or box office receipts or anything like that, just to prove that you are someone with extraordinary ability. One of the other factors is how much money you're making. So they take that into consideration as well.
So struggling artists might have a problem, huh?
They might have a problem with that, but luckily, because there are so many different factors, you can get creative.
I hear a lot about the O visa. What exactly is a P visa?
Again, it's a temporary visa, and it's targeted more towards athletes and musicians within a group that want to come perform in America. With P visa, it's more for internationally recognized individuals. So that's the main difference. With O visas, you have extraordinary ability that you need to prove up, whereas with a P visa, you need to prove that you're internationally recognized.
Okay, and another scenario I always hear about is a company here wants to sponsor the foreign worker so they can become an employee here. What's the proper visa for that one?
Generally, the type of visa they would want to apply for is an H-1B. So the employer has to fill out the application and file the petition on the employee's behalf.
I'm sure you see a lot. Can you tell us some of the common mistakes that you see companies do when they're trying to sponsor a worker?
Generally, the common types of mistakes you see is that they wait too long to file the application. There are a lot of requirements, especially with an H-1B visa. We have to comply with the Department of Labor, and you know how that goes. So not only are you dealing with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, you're also dealing with the Department of Labor. So you have to give yourself a lot of time to prepare. That's one of the main things that I see is people wait too long. And there is a cap on H-1Bs. So you want to make sure you're doing it on time. Another mistake I see is that people aren't describing the job duties with specificity. With the law, you have to be as specific as possible. Another issue, it sounds pretty simple, but it happens, is people submit the wrong filing fees. There are so many different filing fees, and you have to make sure you have everything in order. It can turn into a big headache.
Now, Suzie, I went to your website and I saw an amazing picture of you and your family. Looks like you were immigrants, so you kind of have a first-hand knowledge of how people are feeling when they go through this process. What inspired you to practice immigration law?
Well, Richard, one thing I can tell you is when I was working on my asylum case, when that asylum got approved, that's when it hit me that I literally saved somebody's life. I saved them from going back home and, facing persecution. So helping people like that is something that keeps me going. And it's very unique to immigration. I feel like, it's almost like criminal law in a sense that you're saving people's lives. Their liberties are at issue. And with business immigration, it's the same concept. You're allowing people to come to America and pursue their dreams, whether it be acting or directing or working for a big company. It really gives them a lot of opportunities.
Now, Suzie, here at Lawyers Rock, I like to talk to people who are entrepreneurs because it gives people a general idea of how to overcome things. You're an entrepreneur, you have your own law firm, and I'm sure you've gone through some ups and downs. Can you share with the audience some of the challenges or obstacles you had to overcome before you got to where you are?
One challenge that I faced, Richard, was before I started my business, I was getting everything together, and the hardest thing for me was quitting my job and leaving a stable income to pursue something that I really care about. And so you just have to have the courage to do it. So the best business advice that I've gotten, or one of the best, is that, the world doesn't owe you anything. You have to go out and get it. And so you have to have that drive. You can't give up, and you can't feel down if it's hard. It's going to be hard. It's not an easy road.
I love that. And you've given some really good advice today, so thank you again for doing this interview. I'm going to put your information on the video itself so people can know how to get in touch with you. But tell people how they can find you.
Absolutely. You can go on my website. It's www.litwacklegal.com. That's LITWACK legal.com. You can also email me at Suzie@litwacklegal.com.